Hello everybody, Eric the Green back here on this cool March 6th. It is, I think it's around 44 degrees right now. We've had, the past 3 nights have been around 20, so it's kind of unusual for this time of year. Over 30 degrees below normal. But anyway, I'm doing this video today, and the purpose of this video is about blackberry varieties that are disease resistant, they're the sweetest, and have the biggest berries. Now, here in the South, with the humidity and the extreme heat that can start as early as May, that brings a lot of diseases in for the blackberries. And I've learned a lot through the years about different varieties. And I'll start off with this one here. This plant, it's a Navajo blackberry from the University of Arkansas. It was developed there. And this plant I got about 10 years ago. I put it in the ground, and I was reading all about how thornless blackberries aren't as productive, aren't as vigorous. They don't have thorns, so the deer and everything, the pests are much more on them. So I planted it in the ground. I didn't take care of it. I actually forgot about it for years. And I went on to get Kiowa, Shawnee, and Brazos thorny blackberries. I planted a row of those. And for a few years, they did really well. I was getting gallons of berries off of them. Then, with the wild blackberries in the area, many wild rubus species, hybrid species, in that family around here, and the Shawnee, the Kiowa, and the Brazos, which were very good berries, and they were very productive for a few years, but they started getting the double blossom rosette disease. And it's a fungal disease that comes in and infects the primo-cane. It overwinters in the plant and then affects the blooms on the floricane. And it causes the bloom to just develop blooms on top of blooms on top of blooms, and none of them set fruit. So over the years, it destroyed all my blackberry crop. It got worse and worse over the years, infecting more and more plants. So I decided a couple of years ago to start trying some thornless varieties that were resistant to this. And I planted some Washitas, and I planted some Triple Crown. And I will say that the Triple Crown are very vigorous plants and everything, but they bloom late, they produce fruit late, and where I am, you have to get your fruit in early, or it's too hot, it's too dry. And the Triple Crown, I've never gotten a good berry off of the Triple Crown because it is so hot. The sun fries the berries, and the plants are bad to get too dry. So I would not recommend Triple Crown for the South, especially for my area. The Washita has done very well. This past summer was the first year that it made berries. Very sweet, very productive. No sign of the double blossom rosette whatsoever. So, and it's a variety that's supposed to be immune. Now back to this plant. A couple of years ago, this turned into a wild blackberry thicket all around where I am right now. And wild blackberries carry the fungus of the double blossom rosette. This was overtaken. You can still see here's one here, of the wild blackberry. You can still see the canes that I cut off here. This was growing in the middle of a wild blackberry thicket, and for the past 2 years I've left it here, and I believe it's a Navajo. It had no double blossom rosette even amongst all these. So now I've cleared the wild blackberries out, and I'm taking care of this plant because I now see how good the thornless varieties are at resisting these diseases that we have. And it makes a good berry. It's productive. It's not a very big plant because it hasn't been taken care of until now. So this year I pulled out my Kiowa, my Shawnee, which the Shawnee was never very healthy anyway. It was, it didn't like the cold. I had some tip dieback, and I'm in zone 7B, so I don't know where you'd have to grow Shawnee. But the Kiowa, I pulled out the Kiowa, the Shawnee, and the Brazos. And the Brazos, it was developed in Texas in the 1950s, and I believe it has dewberry, raspberry, blackberry cross. I think there's 3 in there. I'm not sure that's exactly the cross, but it has a very delicious berry. But double blossom rosette, I didn't get any berries off of them for years. So anyway, this year I pulled those out and I replanted more Washitas, Osage, and Natchez. Natchez has, I think, the biggest blackberry out of all the Arkansas releases, and all of those, and I believe Navajo and Arapaho are, I don't think double blossom rosette has ever been observed in those varieties. So anyway, we're going to go over and I'm going to look at the new planting of Osage and Washita. Okay, and we're back here. Made this bed this year with really good compost, and I've got 5 Osage planted here and 5 Washitas planted in the front. Now, of course, these are very small plants. They may bloom a little bit on these canes, and I may get a few berries just to try, but I've already tried Washita because I have another planting of those. But anyway, they're already trying to leaf out. We've been around 20 degrees for 3 days. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about these varieties, because I've learned a lot of lessons over the years, and I would say if you get blackberry plants, get them from a reputable place, because it seems to be a lot of trouble with plants not being true to type and getting the wrong variety. Then you grow them for years and find out that that you've been wasting your time. And thornless varieties are vigorous for me. They're just as vigorous as the thorn varieties. So I don't understand where this came from, that the thorny varieties were more vigorous. I wasted years with those because of that. But now I know, because of my Triple Crown and my Washitas, and seeing the Navajo that's been growing for around 10 years on its own, still alive. We've had, in 2012, we had 117 degrees. That plant was there on its own. I never watered it. I forgot about it. So I just wanted to to make a video about this. And also, this is for the South. I think Natchez may be the lowest chill of the varieties that I have. I think it's around 350, 400 chill hours. So if you're going, if you're more in the deep South, you may want to look into varieties. I think one's called Tupi that was developed in Brazil, and I think that's maybe the main commercial planting in Mexico now. So might want to look into that. I don't know a lot about the lowest chill or no chill blackberries. Anyway, I hope this helped someone not to waste time on blackberry diseases. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all my subscribers, and talk to you next time.